Hey man, welcome back. We're in the basement of the DC Central Kitchen here, the biggest shelter in America. And I'm joined by my new friend and rock and roll legend Wayne Kramer, who's here to talk with a lot of people in DC about jail guitar doors. And we were just talking and we figured, what the hell, man, we'll get out the camera and see if we can record it to let a few people know, because, you know, this is something that Billy Bragg started, what, about 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And I guess like Mick Jones also from the Clash, who gave the name, I guess, to the movement.
Well, Billy wanted to celebrate the anniversary of Joe Strummer's death.
Yeah.
You know, the Clash are what inspired Billy Bragg to pick up the guitar and find a musical voice for his activism.
Right.
He's always been a socialist.
Yeah.
And so a guy wrote him from a prison in England, and he was trying to use music as rehabilitation, but he didn't have any instruments. And he asked Billy, could he get us some guitars in here? And he found some, and he started to think, you know, there's something to this idea. So he called it Jail Guitar Doors, based on this Clash song. So I took Billy with me into a prison show we did at Sing Sing. And I noticed he had a guitar, and it said Jail Guitar Doors on it. I said, oh, jail guitar, that's pretty interesting. He said, yeah, it's a Clash song. I said, I know the song. He said, well, it's a B-side from the Clash. You've ever heard it? I said, yeah, I know the song. It's about me, Billy.
Yeah.
He said, what do you mean? I said, what are the lyrics? He said, let me tell you about Wayne. His deals of cocaine, a little more every day. Pull for a friend till the band comes in. DEA put him away. Oh! And, you know, he's such a generous and sweet man. He was so embarrassed. But it opened up the whole thing, and I started looking at this, and I said, you know what, I should do this in America. And he said, well, good, because I was just going to ask you to. And so we've taken it on in this country, and so we've been up and rolling for a year. We've done events in the Texas Department of Corrections, in New York, and mostly in the California Department of Corrections. That's where we're based. We've done probably a dozen outreach events, and we have a number more scheduled for the new year. So.
And it's well, because prisons in California jumped like 8,000% over the last 30 years, right?
Yeah, someone in the legislature came up with the brilliant idea to save the California economy by building prisons.
Yeah.
It's the largest prison building campaign in the history of the world in California. And now we have 180,000 Californians in prison. The prison system is 200% over capacity. The Supreme Court is ruling now that it violates the constitutional rights of the people there because the health care is below the minimum for human beings. A prisoner dies every week in California of things like staph infections.
And that's what we're talking about, man, because it's like, you know, what you've got is in DC, thousands of people coming home every year with felony convictions, and there's nowhere to go. And what California's about to do is the Supreme Court's going to come down and say, you've got to let people go to get it down to even what then will be, what I think it was
140% over capacity. And you know, the Supreme Court's going to rule that they're going to have to release people, which that can be controlled to a large extent. The real problem is that we've just reached the point now where the original mandatory minimum sentences and the 3 strike sentences, 20 to 25 years have come, it's passed now.
Right. And
all these thousands of men and women are going to be released in the next couple of years with absolutely no preparation, no job training, no counseling, and no support system to help them transition and rejoin their friends and family in the community.
Right.
And this is a serious problem.
Oh, dude, I mean, again, you think about just the economics. And this is what's interesting is some people would look at the idea of jail guitar doors as kind of nice, you know, versus smart. You know, it's the idea of, look, man, you know, this is an economic issue. This is raw economics. I mean, you can't put, whether it's putting people in jail at 40 grand per, or whether it's how can you rebuild the American economy without kind of all hands on deck, everybody working. So to really just, you know, not use prison. We've swung as a country back between restitution, retribution, back and forth, back and forth. And in this idea of, are there ways? Is it about food? Is it about access to things like art? Mm-hmm. Are there alternatives? I know yoga is another example in the UK. They've been experimenting with both diet and yoga as a way to, and again, people would look and roll their eyes, but man, don't roll your eyes. This is business. You know, this isn't about right, wrong, good, bad. This is smart, dumb. And what Wayne's doing and what we're trying to do here at the kitchen by employing people, by generating our own money, by building businesses that run on powerful men and women who've paid their debt and who are, really pleased to be, rocking a new life here. These are just great examples of what we could do if we really got serious about this and kind of let go of that kind of, Cain and Abel, let's throw away the key thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I believe in accountability, and I believe if you break the rules that we've agreed on in our culture, that you have to be held accountable. But I think the punishment should fit the crime, and the kind of draconian sentences that we assign to people in this country they're not justifiable. And then for people to come back and have this kind of a mark of Cain on them, that you can't get if you try to get a low-income housing that's a state housing,
right.
You can be excluded. Voting rights, although in California your voting rights can be returned to you in many states.
Right.
This is a big chunk of the citizenry that can't
vote, right.
participate.
Right.
The districting of prisons in California, the prison population is counted as part of the allotments in federal and state power, although they can't vote.
Right.
This is wrong.
Yeah.
This is just wrong. This is not justice, and this is not fair. So.
And it's not smart.
No.
So you're going up on the Hill to talk with some people, including Representative Webb.
Well, yeah, Senator Webb has a bill. It's passed the House. We would like to see it get through the Senate before the end of the year and get the president to sign it. He's really asking to form a commission, a bipartisan commission, that looks into trying to find the answer. Either we're the most evil people in the history of the world, or we're doing something wrong
right.
about locking people up. And so he wants to answer these questions. Who are we locking up? Why are we locking them up? How long are we locking them up for? What do we do to them while they're locked up? And then what do we do with them when we're done having them locked up? Because I don't believe we have good answers for these questions in America today.
Yeah. Well, right on, man. It's a pleasure to have you here at the kitchen.
Hey, the pleasure is mine. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm knocked out by what you guys are doing. It's very inspiring. I will be shouting it from the rooftops.
Right on, man. Well, again, and vice versa, man. Again, I'm really looking forward to working with you and seeing if we can, again, push this envelope a little bit.
Yeah, let's roll with it.
All right, man.
All
See you
right.
around.